I'm Philip Milano, and I'm not afraid to answer the questions that most people just wonder about, no matter how touchy or taboo they might be. Feed your curiosity. Read my column, Dare to Ask, every Tuesday in the Florida Times-Union. This is really about real people asking real questions and getting real responses. From Ellen. I grew up in a primarily white area, so I was not exposed to many cultures. What would take place during a typical weeknight in a black family? Was she asking it out of arrogance? Maybe she was asking it out of ignorance. Or maybe she was asking it out of innocence. And that's really what I've discovered is the beauty of this project and of today is, maybe we don't have to judge these questions that harshly, right? Maybe we can take them more at face value. Sometimes I think we're so preoccupied trying to figure out someone's ulterior motives that we miss out on some real opportunities for learning. And so Leonard Pitts knew about it. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Miami Herald. Well, he actually brought up this question in that first column that he wrote, which went all over the country. And he wrote, hearing that, part of me wants to make bad jokes about roasting white babies on a bonfire of Clay Aiken CDs while eating fried chicken and drinking 40s. It tells me we're still mysteries to one another. So much so that even the most minor details are cause for wonder. And what is this all about? What is whyforum.com and my book, I Can't Believe You Asked That, and my newspaper column, Dare to Ask. Well, these are places you can go to learn about and talk about these questions about our differences of race and religion and sexual orientation and gender, disability, the kind of things you maybe wish you could talk about in public, right? But you feel if you did, you might be branded as a racist or a homophobe or ignorant. Well, I say let's talk about them. I would rather, at least momentarily, offend your sensibilities with something, today, than have everyone continue to walk around carrying this baggage of myth and stereotype. We live in such a politically correct world that everybody is so bound up in fear of offending that nobody wants to talk to each other anymore. Cass from Detroit, why do white people smell like wet dogs when they come out of the rain? We live in this world where we feel like we're all hooked up with, the smartphones and the Facebook and texting, and we're all connected, right? But very, very often, I run into African American people who have at least heard this, and white people have not. They can't smell it. Strangely, it's one of the things that prevents me from continuing to date my Caucasian female friends, to the applause of most of my black female friends. This is a whole other topic. Anybody who has heard this, where had you heard it before? Did you hear it was it like a family thing that just came down, or?
I heard it from Juanita.
You heard it?
Juanita is passing it around.
But why do some Mexicans like to lower their cars, asked Candace. And that's what he said started the whole thing, was that Impala. Did anybody have one of those? Oh, this is a first. This is a first.
I had a 64 with a big engine, painted the bottom white, put white lights underneath it, had the engine chrome, tuck and roll down on the dials. It was a beautiful car.
Wow. What did the ladies think?
My wife thought I spent too much money.
Okay. That everybody does not walk in lockstep just because they're black or Christian or gay or Buddhist or whatever. How common is it for African Americans to hear the N-word used as an intentional insult?
You don't talk that way to your friends, the people that you care about. Somebody else could hear it and think, oh, that's okay.
Right.
That's acceptable. It's not acceptable.
If I have a girlfriend call me the B word, it means something very, I will be likely ready to laugh, and it's understood that it's a joke.
I've been with people that will say, don't be such a queen, or don't be such a fag, just like you're talking about
Right.
a brother, and it's all right for me as a gay person to say that to a close gay friend, that to use the term, it's more like a term of endearment.
And even terms like term fag, I don't like that term because of what it represents. Somebody at some point was burned at a stake and called fag. So I don't like that word, and I think for me that's why I choose not to use it.
Is it so wrong to racially profile people who are flying? Claire, why do fundamentalists cite the Old Testament for their views on homosexuality, If they follow that, how about all the other stuff in there, like dietary restrictions? You say that a white guy can look fine in a purple suit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Often the goofier the question, it sort of lets your guard down, and then somebody says something, and a light bulb goes off. You go, oh, I never thought of that way. Maybe that wasn't such a stupid question, you know. Why do some men find breast implants so sexy? Many of the actresses on TV have malformed breasts that look like half a basketball stuck to their chest.
No, I just think there's just too much concentration on looks and appearance, says me, the really good-looking bald guy.
You know, look for those times that you feel like there's maybe a little bonding moment where you can ask a question. You know, you get stuck in an elevator, or the power goes out, or you and a colleague go to some function, you know, and you say, I always wondered. You know, this is something that I've been doing. I'm a straight white married guy. I do this out of my little garage office, you know, in the morning. And I mean, if I can do this, and I had like 10 million visitors and 50,000 postings, and just imagine what we could do if everybody just put a little bit more energy into this kind of conversation. And my final thing is, I always like to say, is always go out and expect the unexpected. If you go out and view your conversations that way, then you're probably not going to get your back up as much. If you walk into it knowing that you're probably going to hear something funky or something you never thought you'd hear, then you'll have a more productive conversation. You guys have been great. Thanks so much for coming.